All right. Welcome to The Pour by Moxie Labs. It's episode 2. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. I'm James, and this is the show where we sit down with founders, operators, marketers, and innovators that we work with. We ask one big question, and we finish the conversation before we finish our cup of coffee. For me today, I'm drinking a espresso blend from Sky Rose Coffee. So just an Americano, nothing fancy, just water and espresso. Today's guest is Alex Hetzel. Alex has been working in healthcare and medical device marketing for over a decade. He's managed and launched brands for Abbott, Terumo, and Globus Medical. Alex, welcome to The Pour.
Thanks, James. Appreciate you having me.
So before we get into the details, what are you drinking today?
I'm drinking some Stoke cold brew, fresh out the fridge. It gets the job done, good amount of caffeine, and works well.
Better than me. It's summer and it's actually the afternoon, so I think your drink is in better selection than mine. Anyway, let's get right into it. As you guys know, we have one big question every time we talk, and for Alex, we've been talking about a whole bunch of different stuff, kind of just as we've been hanging out lately. For me, the question that kind of sticks out is, what do you think is one thing that medical device marketers get wrong when it comes to digital marketing?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And I've been fortunate to have launched products across those brands you mentioned. And I think most brands will have a launch strategy. It's focused on, hey, where are we launching? At what price? Really, what will our reps have to sell with is always the big question. And are we going anywhere? Conferences? Are we doing any medical educational events, webinars? Like those are always the big things. And digital marketing always becomes this add-on. If time allows, if you're able to accomplish everything that I mentioned, if time allows, we'll think about digital marketing or maybe how it supplements some of those things, but it's never the first thing that is within the launch strategy. But at the end of the day, digital marketing should be weighed just as much, just as heavy as the things I just talked about, the price, the launch, what our sales reps will have. Like digital marketing is just as important. It's targeted, it meets the customer where they're at, it's measurable, way more measurable and quantifiable than what my sales reps' interactions are with their customers. And at the end of the day, too, with our modern self-directed buyer's journey, like this accommodates that, which is especially true in healthcare today.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's actually crazy because I've been, my whole career has been in digital marketing. And, if you'd rewound 20 years when I was just getting started, I would have thought that we'd be sitting here in 2026. Marketers would be thinking digital first every single time. They would have a hunger for data that's certainly more than it used to be. But like today, marketers today still are running so much on their guts, especially in more regulated industries with long or complex multi-stakeholder sales. Maybe more importantly is, why do you think that happens? How does digital always fall to the back burner when it comes to especially medical device or pharma marketing?
Yeah, no, there's one big reason, but I guess you did mention something important that I want to kind of call back to, is there is a lot of complexity, especially if you're in global marketing. Every country has different rules, regulations, maybe that are a little more strict than what we have here in the US. And that adds a layer of uncertainty and just like, I don't want to deal with it, which becomes then the afterthought and add-on. But I think the biggest challenge is getting leadership on board. It's less visible to leadership. They don't understand it. It's not as flashy as a big conference booth setup and the things that you can take pictures of and show off to the competitors around you. It may be invisible in terms of like you're doing SEO work or something. You don't really know what's actually happening, but there is value there. So they don't understand it. There's no prior proof points for leadership to hang their hat on. So it develops this lack of trust of, I want to put my money towards digital marketing when I don't understand it and I don't know what the ROI is on it, which at the end of the day turns into that add-on conversation becoming the first thing that gets cut from budgets. You have this great plan, this foolproof plan. It may include and should include digital strategy, but that's always the one that's hanging there to say, let's just cut that out. We don't have money or time to deal with that. And it's unfortunate. I mentioned earlier around the self-directed buyer's journey. What does that really mean? There's been data recently that shows 70% of healthcare buying takes place before a sales rep is even in contact with the person. So they're looking up, they're being influenced by marketing, different ads, digital media, or they're searching themselves and they're coming to a conclusion of what they want already before a rep even interacts. And it was shown that 17% of that whole sales journey, only 17% of the time is actually interacting with sales reps. So you take out procurement conversations, take out pricing conversations, actually physically selling is probably a very small percentage then. And everything is digital and being influenced by digital and what's out there, because at the end of the day, it's been shown that you're 2 times more likely to have market share gain if you have a strong digital foundation, strong digital strategy. So it's very important.
I agree. It's easy to say. It's hard to do, right? Here at Moxie is, we embrace a couple approaches to kind of building that buy-in incrementally, right? One of the strengths of digital is that you can measure it as you go. And so while it's tempting to say, hey, I want to launch a brand new website, or I want to do a 12-month complicated omni-channel media buy, there's also a world, and at Moxie, we're huge believers in this, that you can just plan and execute what we call like little mini experiments, right? So instead of launching a whole new website and then doing a 12-month media buy, you could launch a new landing page with your core message on it, and then you can plan a 90-day media spend that's just really focused on what's the minimum budget I can spend to gather the data and to really prove out internally within my organization that this strategy or this messaging or these channels make the most sense. I think, Alex, we could probably talk about this forever, but I'm pretty much done with my cup of coffee, and that means we're out of time. So thanks again for joining us on The Pour, and looking forward to having you back at some time.
Thanks, James. I appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.